So I've just had the most wonderful day talking to people about wildlife gardening. But one of the things that I think is becoming apparent is this idea that about the things that we do to help wildlife and what will help wildlife, and actually this perception that it needs to be expensive, that it's all about buying bee hotels and buying stuff, buying the right plants and things like that. And actually, as much as anything, it's about the things we don't do. It's really important sort of to stop using chemicals, for instance. So more than buying the bee hotels, actually not using chemicals which harm bees, and not buying as far as possible foods that where pesticides have been used. And it's not mowing the lawn, and it's not cutting back the hedges. It's only at certain times anyway, letting the grass grow. So in lots of ways, it's actually around doing less and spending less, buying less stuff. That everything that we buy has a cost to nature, has a cost to wildlife. You know, these things are made in factories, they use water, they use materials. And so, the bee hotels even are made of wood. And that's not to say that bee hotels aren't a wonderful thing, and I'm a big advocate for them. But actually very often they could be made just simply with a piece of wood and a drill. That you don't necessarily need to be going and buying sort of custom made bee hotels and the sort of wonderful bug hotels. Often these can all be made with reclaimed materials, and so nothing new is actually being made. So I really wanted to address this. This is one of the big things that came up in the wildlife gardening survey that we did, that people felt that it cost too much, and that it took too much time. Those were two of the big barriers to wildlife gardening. And actually, I really want to do more to show people that actually, for one thing, it can give you back a lot of time, so you can have time to actually enjoy your garden space rather than spending huge amounts of time mowing and weeding and all those sorts of things. And there is so much you can do for free. I'm looking right now at this huge patch of plants, many of which I did not pay for. These were all sown by nature, and I can see moths and butterflies and bees, hoverflies, all enjoying this patch of plants I didn't plant. They were all completely free. And for lots of people, a plant you didn't plant maybe is what you'd refer to as a weed, but these are really doing a lot of heavy lifting for the insects who are having a really hard time of it. Actually I think they're rather beautiful. We have this wonderful sea of blue that for me is every bit as beautiful as the bluebells in a woodland. I hope to share more videos and really telling you lots more of the ways that wildlife gardening doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be time consuming. It's really just about letting nature do all the heavy lifting, and we're just, we are nature, but we're working in alignment and just nudging around the corners, just kind of shaping things so that it's still a garden and not a nature reserve.